You've worked and you've saved and you've invested and you've learned a lot of important lessons along the way. And now, in addition to thinking about your own retirement planning, you're also thinking about how can you provide for children and even grandchildren. Well, if you're just thinking about this in terms of how much money you can leave them, you're thinking about it in the wrong way. More importantly, we need to be asking ourselves a question: how can we teach children and grandchildren the importance of investing and how to manage money wisely? In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 different tips for how you can do so. Hey everyone, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and I'm here to teach you how to get the most out of life with your money. You'll often hear people talking about the importance of teaching kids how to manage money or teaching kids the importance of investing, but how do you actually do it? Well, I think there's ways to do it effectively and there's ways to do it ineffectively. I remember when I was in 6th grade, the teacher came to us one day and I think they had the right intention. They said, we want to teach you all about stocks and investing. So what did they do? They brought a newspaper for each student and they told us to follow one stock. So everyone picked a stock, and picking a stock meant picking an individual ticker symbol and then just looking at the prices day to day. Now, what did we learn from this? Almost nothing. Maybe actually nothing. What we saw was this ticker symbol is worth $20 today. Tomorrow it's $20.50. Then it's back down to $20.20. And all of a sudden you're realizing I'm really not learning a whole lot here. I'm tracking some numbers, but there's nothing connecting this to what investing actually is. So this is the challenge. It's one thing to say let's teach kids how to do this, but the most effective way of doing so, I think, has eluded most people. It's what's led to a lot of funny memes like this one here, where you talk about what's important and what is school actually teaching versus what do we wish they would have been teaching instead. So what I hope to do in today's video is share with you what have I done when it's come to teaching the children or even grandchildren of clients how to invest better, how to manage money wisely, and thankfully it's pretty straightforward if you know the right approach to take. And I think the general principle we want to take is teaching is good, but more important than that, we want to cast a vision for what's the importance of this. What could your future look like if you manage money wisely, if you invest wisely? And to do that, the first thing I would teach kids, number 1, is the magic of compounding. So what do I mean by that? Well, the wrong way to teach kids how to save is to say you need to save $100 per month for your retirement. What does a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old or even a 25-year-old care about saving for retirement? It's hard enough to teach adults to save consistently. Why on earth would we think a child would want to do so? Instead, I would recommend telling a story that illustrates the magic of investing in compound interest. Ask your child this. Say, I'll give you the option. You can either have $1 million today. Now, this is theoretical, of course. You're not actually going to give them $1 million. But you can either have $1 million today, or I will give you this single penny. But the catch is this penny will double in value every day for an entire month. Which would you select? Then let them think about that. You know, it's an interesting thought experiment. They're going to think, okay, well, the $1 million, that's a lot of money, I know. A penny is not very much money. And even if it doubles, it's 2 cents, and then 4 cents, and then 8 cents, and 16 cents. And they might play that out for a little bit and probably say, you know what, I'm going to take that $1 million. That's probably a whole lot more than that penny would represent. Well, here's the thing. After 31 days of compounding, that single penny that's doubled every day has turned into over $10 million. Don't believe me? Take a look at the math right here. Look at this. Day 1, you can see the penny is 1 penny. Then day 2, it goes to 2 cents. By day 5, it's 16 cents. By day 10, you're now up above $5. Congratulations, but you're still very far off from $1 million. By day 15, we get to 163. By day 20, you're at $5,242. You're still very far behind $1 million, but by day 31, you're at over $10.7 million. So these are the numbers. Take a look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie, but this is the beauty and the magic of compounding. It doesn't seem like much at first. So when your child first gets started with that first $50, $100, $1,000, it's not going to seem like a lot at first. But after enough years of compounding on the back end, that has real tremendous gains. So when you start to frame it in that way, of getting started early allows for this magic to start happening, that really starts to paint a nice picture that any child can start to understand. So that's really going to get their attention. And then the second thing that I would do is teach them the importance of starting early. I'll use myself and my wife, Ashlyn, as an example. So let's assume both of us are 20, and we both hear that we should be saving to a Roth IRA. So Ashlyn, she's on it. She starts saving $250 per month to her Roth IRA, but she only does that from age 20 to age 30. Then at age 30, she stops, and she just doesn't save a dime for retirement ever again. Now let's look at James. James doesn't do anything from age 20 to 30. He takes that $250 and he spends it frivolously, doing anything besides investing. Then he wakes up one day at age 30 and realizes, you know what, I should probably start investing. I heard that penny analogy and I want a lot more pennies in the future because of investing. So at age 30, James starts investing $250 per month, and he does so consistently for the next 35 years until age 65. So let's take a look at that. Both of them are 20, and we're looking at what would happen if they did this until 65. Ashlyn saves for the first 10 years and then stops for the next 35. James does the reverse. He does nothing for the first 10 years, and then he does save for the next 35. So if you look at that, Ashlyn has contributed a total of $30,000 to her investment account, $30,000 to her Roth IRA. James, on the other hand, has contributed $105,000 over the course of his life to his Roth IRA. So James has contributed 3.5 times as much as Ashlyn. Who would you expect to have more money in their account? Well, if we assume a growth rate of 10% per year, which is just a long-term average return of the S&P 500, James would have about $813,000 in his investments. That's not bad. James put in a total of $105,000. He now has $813,000 in his investment account. But now let's take a look at Ashlyn. Ashlyn only put $30,000 in her investment account, but by the age of 65, she has over $1,340,000 in her investments. Why is that? How on earth could Ashlyn have so much more, given that she only saved less than a third of what James had saved? Well, this is another illustration of the power of compound growth. Those early dollars Ashlyn put into her account had more time to grow, had more time to flourish, and what that ultimately means is that Ashlyn's money was working for her, while James had to do most of the heavy lifting for his investments. So I think that's so important for children to know, because so often it can seem like, why on earth would I save for something that I'm not going to spend until I'm 60, 65, 70, and to a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old, that seems a little discouraging. Well, here's the importance. If you start saving early, you don't have to save as aggressively for the rest of your life. By putting money in early, your money is going to do most of the heavy lifting for you. Let's take a look at Ashlyn. She stopped at 30. Now she has $250 per month that she could use to travel, to spend with friends, to buy a home, to do other cool things. So I think the disconnect for children in investing long-term is sometimes thinking retirement's never going to come. But if you can reframe it to say, look, the more you invest for retirement today, the more you can spend in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s even, on things that aren't retirement related. Then all of a sudden that makes a lot more sense. Of, okay, I'm planting these seeds today, so those seeds can do the work for me, then I'm going to be much more free with my income in my 30s, 40s, and 50s to do with it what I want, instead of having to play catch up and trying to save my way to retirement instead of grow my way to retirement. So these are the types of stories that help. And then the third thing that I would do is explain to them, compounding applies everywhere. So we've specifically talked about compound interest and what it can do, taking a penny to dollars to many, many, many more dollars. That's great, and that's very true. But what I wish more people would understand is that same principle applies outside the world of investing as well. Because let's go back to that penny example. You know, that's really exciting to see, one penny turning to $10.7 million, but that's assuming your investment doubles every single day. Good luck finding an investment that actually doubles every single day. It's impossible. What is possible, just looking historically, is that 10% per year number. Is that a guarantee that that's going to happen? Absolutely not. But if you look at the past 100 years or so, that's been the average return of the S&P 500, 10% per year growth per year. But you know where you can get a better return than 10% per year? Your skill set, your knowledge, the effort that you put into the things that you are doing. James Clear has this amazing visual that I'm going to put up on the screen here. And what he talks about, he says, look, if you just get 1% better every day, this could be at your job, this could be relationally, this could be with a new skill that you're developing. At the end of the year, you haven't just grown 1% times 365, which is 365% better, The compounding effect there says you're 38 times better at the end of the year than you were at the beginning. So this is the magic of compounding. Don't just look at it in terms of what's happening in your Roth IRA or your 401k or your investments. This principle applies elsewhere. And the beautiful thing is you're not limited to 10% or 11% or 12% growth outside of the realm of investments. This is really a direct reflection of your effort and your skill set. And the important thing, how this ties into teaching kids about compounding and investing, is this. What if when you start your first job, you can do a little bit better than the rest of your peers? And what if that doing a little bit better means that on average, I'm just making up numbers right now, maybe your peers get a 4% per year raise each year over the course of their career. But because of a little bit of extra effort, or because you've improved your skill set, or you've taken outside courses, or you've done something to improve yourself, you on average are getting a 6% per year increase in your salary. Well, that might not be huge that first year. You've got a little bit of a bump above your colleagues, above your coworkers, but it's not significant. However, at the end of 30 years, if that continues over that time period, your income will be more than 80% higher than that of your peers and that of your colleagues and that of the people that started with you. So that's significant. 80% more income? How much easier would saving for retirement be? How much bigger of a home could you buy? How much more could you spend on lifestyle or vacations or family things that you want to spend on? So yes, compounding applies to your investments, but make sure you're also dedicating that energy to becoming better at your craft, your skill set, your relationships, all of this, because that too has a compound effect that's pretty incredible results over time. So those are 3 simple frameworks I would use or tools I would use to teach kids the importance of investing. Because what we're ultimately doing is we've gone ahead of them and we want to be able to share our knowledge, our wisdom, our skill sets with them in hopes that they can apply that to their situations. But in that same vein, we should be learning from those who have gone ahead of us. That's why I created this video here. This video here shares with you 5 things you'll wish you knew before you retired. You've learned a lot up until now about saving and investing and tax strategies and all these things, but there's a completely different set of skill sets that you're gonna need or a different set of expectations that you should have going into retirement. So check out this video where I walk you through those 5 things so you can best prepare for your retirement. Once again, I'm James Knoll, founder of Root Financial, and if you're interested in seeing how we help our clients at Root Financial get the most out of life with their money, be sure to visit us at www.rootfinancialpartners.com.